Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions like wear test demo review on the Rimmel. This is the Match Perfection Foundation. So you guys would know if you've watched my channel for a while that I love the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour foundation. It's like one of my holy grail foundations. If you have oily skin, I absolutely love it. But this one was kind of got like a relaunch because they've added a whole bunch of like new shades to the range. So it was on sale at Priceline for like half price. I was like, may as well give it a go. So if you're interested in seeing how this guy stacks up on my super oily skin, then just keep watching. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Let's have a look at the packaging. This is what it looks like. Here comes in a glass bottle. It does come with a pump, which is awesome, so you can control how much you're pumping out. Comes with the standard 30 ml worth of product, super standard for a foundation. It does have SPF 20, so that's great. I mean, if it does end up stacking up on my oily skin, it might be a good everyday kind of option with that SPF added. So I'm going to pull up the Priceline website, which is where I purchased it from, so I can just get a little bit more details about the foundation. So I've got it up on here. It retails in Australia for $18.95, which is expensive, but like I said, I got this one on sale, so I think I paid like half price for it. It does come with a whopping 25 shades there. Again, they kind of all really lean towards that kind of light medium shade range, but there are a few darker options in there as well. It's not super broad spectrum, but it's way better than a lot of foundation companies from the drugstore are offering, so that's great. So I'm just going to read a little bit more about the claims of the foundation so we know what we're in for. This says picture perfect skin matching, perfecting, protect. I don't think this is even in like proper English. What? Picture perfect skin matching, perfecting, protecting, fix, extend, stays mattified for up to 7 hours. Is that like the total title of the foundation? Skin matching, perfecting, protecting, fix, extend. That doesn't make any sense. Moving on, it says light diffusing properties instantly blur your blemishes, which is awesome. Wear alone or under your foundation. What? Wear alone or under your foundation. I think they've accidentally put the like primer description in the foundation like description on the website. That makes sense because it's actually skin matching, perfecting, protecting is the primer that kind of goes along with this. Oh, okay. Good job, Priceline. And we have the wrong product description on this. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to see if I can find the proper one. So I've just jumped on the actual Rimmel website. So hopefully they'll have the proper information up. So it says here, for invisible coverage, visibly perfected skin, invisible mistake-proof foundation for visibly protected and healthier looking skin. It's weightless, smooth texture, blends with skin's real tone instead of masking it. 24-hour moisture complex leaves skin feeling hydrated. Soft focus powers help reduce imperfections, pores, and dark circles, which that all sounds really great. Personally, I kind of tend to steer towards foundations which market themselves as being like mattifying because I have so oily skin. So I'm a bit cautious because this one says like moisturizing, and for me, that implies like a dewy finish, which is not what I'm about. I prefer a matte finish because by the end of the day, I've got the dew going all by myself. I do not need a product to help make me dewy whatsoever. So let's just whack this guy on our face. So a little bit about my skin before we jump into it, because I think that's really important so you guys know. I have really oily skin. Like I've said, I have large pores around my face here. My skin is quite textured. I do have little kind of like undersurface bumps on my skin. I do suffer from breakouts. A lot of my breakouts now are kind of like healing in that drying kind of stage, but I do have a few kind of going on at the moment. So that's where we're at. I'm after a foundation that's going to help to like mattify my skin and not make me look like a complete grease ball by the end of the day, but I also want something that's super light on the skin. A lot of the times foundations that are marketed towards being like long lasting, because I need something that's going to last on my skin because my oils just like break it down. It kind of implies that it needs to be like mask like. So like I want my foundation to like last on my skin to be light and evened out, but I don't want it to break down. So it's really finding that balance between something that's light and looks natural and doesn't break down, but also holds up to my long days at work and controls my oils. So that's what I'm on the hunt for. That's what we're looking for. So hopefully this guy delivers, but let's just jump right into application. I don't think I mentioned this, but I have it in the shade 100 Ivory, which is what I'm kind of in the Lasting Finish foundation. The 100 Ivory in the Breathable foundation is a little bit kind of more yellow toned. It's not the same color. This one looks a little bit more neutral. It's not like really pink or really yellow, so hopefully it'll match my skin today. So I'm gonna just pump a bit on the back of my hand. This is the kind of consistency that we're working with. Some will come out. One. I'll start off with two. So that's what we're looking like. It's kind of like thicker. It's not really running too much. It's actually really kind of similar consistency to the lasting finish. It looks really dark though. I don't think that's gonna match me, but we will just bring it down the neck and we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Before we go in and apply it, I'm gonna actually prime my skin. I always prime my skin, so I'm gonna be using the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. It's one of my absolute favorite primers. I always prime my skin, so that's why I'm gonna do it in the video today. So I'm just gonna apply that to my skin. So now that the primer has had a few minutes to kind of sink in, I'm going to go in and dot this on my face. And I'm just going to use a beauty blender to blend it out. Smells like pretty much exactly like all kind of Rimmel foundations smell. It kind of has that like florally kind of scent to it, which I like. It smells nice. I'm definitely going to make sure to bring this down my neck because it is a smidge dark for me. Okay, so that is kind of like a 1/2 on my skin. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what we're looking like. So this is my skin kind of before the foundation. Bear in mind I've only applied a really light kind of layer, and this is what we're looking like with a light layer. So I would describe this as a light coverage at the minute. You can definitely still see my redness coming through. You can still see my breakouts and things like that. It hasn't really covered it up. My skin looks natural and my pores do not look like emphasized. So this is kind of what my pores are looking like on this side. And then over here, they look quite like smoothed out. They're not emphasized. They're not enlarged. So yeah. It's looking quite good. So I'm going to apply on the rest of my face here. Okay, so that is what we are looking like now. My skin still looks like skin. It's maybe looking a little bit dry on my nose, but my nose kind of has a hard time with foundations. I definitely myself would want more coverage than this for kind of every day. It is really nice and natural, but it's not really covered up a lot of my redness on the sides of my face here. Color-wise, it's definitely like a smidge too dark, but the one shade lighter was really pink tone, and I just think it would have looked really weird. So I'm going to apply another kind of 2 pumps, which isn't abnormal for Rimmel foundations. I think I apply about 4 pumps for the lasting finish foundation as well, so I'm not too bothered by it. I'm going to go again. 1, 2, and then I'm going to dot this mainly in the center portion. I don't find I need as much coverage out here. And then I'm just going to blend it all in. Oh, my camera's overheating again, guys. This is like the most annoying thing. I've been filming for like less than 10 minutes. My camera's already flashing at me saying it's overheating. Oh, I need a new camera so bad. So bad. So guys, I'm back. It's been like almost an hour it's taken for my stupid camera to sort itself out and be cool enough for filming. So sorry about that. In the meantime, I've just applied my brows. I haven't done anything else to the skin so far, but this is what we're kind of looking like. It's definitely had enough time to kind of set down, if you will. I definitely have a kind of dewiness to my skin. It hasn't set down matte or anything. I can definitely still see luminosity, which I don't know if it's a good thing, but this is it so far. I haven't powdered or anything. I'll zoom you in so you can have a kind of closer look at what my skin is looking like. I have noticed that it's set into my smile lines here a little bit and also a little bit into my forehead lines, but do keep in mind that I haven't set my face with any powder, which is what I would normally do. But this is what we are looking like. The time is now almost 12:30, and I call the start time for this wear test at 11:30, because I'm pretty sure I've had it on for about an hour so far since my camera stopped filming. So yeah, this is what we're looking like. I'm going to apply the rest of my face and I'll be back to check in with you guys. So guys, I'm back. This is what we are looking like. I've applied the rest of my face. Now I did set my face with powder. I always set my face with powder because I'm so oily. So the powder I used today was the Rimmel Match Perfection powder, which coincides very well with the Match Perfection foundation we're trying out. This is what the skin looks like at the end. I have got a bit of a glow going on, but that is my highlight from the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. Kitty Cat is like, it's so good. It's so good. But this is what the skin is looking like. I'm going to zoom you in so you can have an up close look and see how everything's sitting. At the moment it is 1:50, so I've had the foundation on for a bit over 2 hours. So I'll zoom you in and we can have a look and see how everything is going. Just turn down the exposure, and then this is what the skin is looking like. I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. It looks pretty natural, but still providing a nice kind of coverage. I have noticed a little bit of settling on the side of my nose here and also in my forehead lines already. So yeah, that is what the skin is looking like. I think it's looking pretty damn good. So I hope it holds up for my oily skin. One thing to note as well, I did use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC15 just to highlight under my eyes, top of my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and also my chin. I do find that concealer does help to control my oils a little bit as well, but just something to mention, it did help to kind of lighten up the foundation a little bit because I did feel like it was, like it does look a slight bit dark. Like I can get away with it, but I definitely need to be a little bit tanner, but we're going with it today. So I'm going to go about the rest of my day and I'll come back and we'll check in a couple of hours and we'll see how everything is lasting. Oh, one thing to note as well, I didn't use any setting sprays, nothing like an Urban Decay or Nighter spray, nothing, no MAC Fix Plus either, so I've had no setting sprays as well, just so you guys know. But yeah, I'll be back in a few hours and we'll do another check-in. Hey guys, so I'm checking in. The time is now about 6:20. I've had the foundation on for almost 7 hours and this is what we are looking like. I am feeling a little bit shiny and I can tell that this isn't going to be a super long lasting foundation. It is just already looking a little bit oily. Do bear in mind that I didn't use my Laura Mercier loose translucent setting powder, which is normally what I use, or a Kat Von D setting powder, which are normally a little bit more like locking it in. So I would like to test this foundation out wearing that. I'll probably aim to wear this again tomorrow as well, and I'll add on to this clip. I'm actually going to be heading out shortly and I really want to take my makeup off. I'm just going to a friend's house for kind of like a chill dinner, so I don't want to be going there with like a full face, but this is what we're looking like so far. I'll zoom you in so you can have a quick look and turn this down. I am looking like shiny in through here. I have separated a little bit on the sides of my mouth here. I'm looking a little bit shiny and lining up on my forehead too. But it's nothing that I'm super self-conscious about. I do feel like my skin looks really nice and healthy and youthful. I don't look like really gross and like dry by any means, but I do want to give this another try tomorrow because today I've literally just been sitting at home, haven't been outside at all, so I don't really feel like it's a true testament to what the foundation is going to be doing on my oily skin out in like sunshine and things. So I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. I'm just going to be doing some shopping with my mum and my sister, so I'll check in with you guys and we'll see how the foundation is holding. I'll apply all my face products exactly the same, probably not as much highlighter on because we're just going shopping, but all kind of like the base makeup will be exactly the same so we can see how it lasts kind of outside in the element. So I'll see you guys, well, tomorrow. Hey guys, so I'm back at day 2 testing the Rimmel Match Perfection Foundation. Like you would have seen in the previous clip, I just did not have this foundation on for long enough and I was inside all day yesterday, so I don't really feel like we got an accurate representation of how this guy will hold up on my oily skin. So I'm going to wear it today. I'm going shopping with my mum and my sister, so I'm going to wear it today and I'll do a check-in again later this afternoon. I'm definitely not going to be as glam as I was yesterday since I'm just going to the shops, but we're all here for the skin anyway. I'm going to apply using the exact same product. So I've already applied the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer and I'm just about to apply obviously the foundation, and then I'll use the same Rimmel Match Perfection powder to set the skin. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with the 2 pumps again just on my hand. I'm just going to dot it on my face. And I need a mirror. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, so I've just dotted it on my face and I'm just using the Beauty Blender again to blend it out. I still feel like the shade is just the tiniest little bit too dark for me. I really like the tone of it. It's kind of yellow but not too orangey yellow, if that makes sense. It just makes me look like I have a little bit of colour to my skin, which I'm not hating because I'm so pale that sometimes I do these foundation reviews and I look in the viewfinder and I seriously look like a ghost. I mean, it matches me and I am that pale, but it just looks really odd. So I actually don't mind having something with a little bit of a colour into it. And then I can just kind of lighten it up with the concealer and it kind of ends up looking fine anyway. So okay, so it's looking exactly the same as it did yesterday. The 2 pumps have done half my face and I will zoom you in so you can have a look and see the skin. So this is with 2 pumps on one side of the face. And then that's obviously just the primer. So I've just applied another lot to the back of my hand and I'm just going to dip in and apply. So my thoughts continuing, these are still not like a full coverage foundation. Maybe if you build it up, but I just feel like it didn't really like set down. Even though yesterday I left the foundation on my skin for a really long time after initially applying it before I went in and powdered it, I still felt like it just like felt like I was like maybe just waiting for it to go like a powdered finish for some reason and not just like have that shine to it. It just never really felt like it was set. Like I felt like if I touched my face it would just like kind of just literally wipe away. So I I really don't know how this is going to apply, and I feel like maybe the more that you apply, the more product sitting on my skin typically, the more oily my skin tends to react to it. It just sits there being like super emollient. So I like to apply like less product, but this isn't a really full coverage foundation, so I'm needing to build it up just a little bit in these kind of problematic areas like the bottom of my chin here. But again, I don't want to build it up too much because it's not really the right colour. So this is what the 4 pumps of foundation is looking like on my skin. I really do like the finish of it. It's a very similar finish to the Rimmel Lasting Finish foundation as well. You've got coverage, but your skin doesn't look like dry and crepey or anything like that. It's definitely not a non-detectable foundation. Like, you can tell you've got foundation on, but it just looks really natural. It doesn't look powdery or anything like that. Hasn't emphasized any pores or texture in my skin. My skin looks really smooth, which is great. Even around my little crusty pimples down the bottom here, it hasn't picked up on any of the kind of dry patches and clung to it. It's just kind of smoothed over them, and it actually looks really nice. So I'm just gonna let this sit on my skin for a little bit, definitely not as long as yesterday. Just gonna do my brows, I'll come back and we'll powder, and then we'll have a look at the skin. I'm just pressing that powder into my skin to really set down the foundation, focusing it really closely to my smile lines and also just on my forehead as well, where I tend to get creasing. So this is the skin. I'll zoom you in so you can have a quick look, and I'll turn down the ring light. So this is what the skin's looking like. I think it's looking really perfected. You can still see a little bit of pigmentation coming through, so it's not super full coverage, but it's definitely a nice natural kind of coverage. And then that is the forehead as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna apply the rest of my face kind of makeup, and then I'll be back to start the check-in. So I'm back, I've applied the rest of my face. The time is now 9:45, so that's what we're gonna mark the start of this wear test at. So I'm gonna go out and about with the rest of my day, and I'll come back and we'll check in and we'll see how this is holding up later in the day. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back. The time is now just before 9 o'clock. So I've had the foundation on for just over 11 hours. And I'm ready to take it off. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with how well the foundation has held up, especially as it's marketed as being a moisturizing formula. My skin sometimes doesn't look this good after 11 hours when I use like a full-on mattifying long wear foundation. So I'm really pleasantly surprised. I am feeling really kind of oily, and the foundation is starting to feel like a little bit thick on the skin. When I initially applied it, it kind of felt like I had foundation on my skin, but didn't feel thick or heavy. The coverage was still at a medium kind of look, but it feels like it's kind of heavier and thicker now. It hasn't really creased too much. I do have that typical creasing that I get in between my brows here and also on the sides of my mouth. I kind of get that with every foundation that I use, and it's still there. I mean, that's nothing new, but definitely not looking as separated as it has using other foundations, so that's a tick. The foundation though does oxidize, so just something to be aware of. As you can see, I'm looking a lot darker in my face, and you can definitely see the difference between my neck and my face. When I applied it, I definitely did notice that it was darker, but it wasn't as dark as it's kind of showing now, so it will oxidize, so do keep that in mind when you are purchasing this one. But I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can have an up close look and see what the skin's actually looking like. So I've just turned down my lighting, and this is what the foundation is looking like on my skin. As you can see, I'm definitely looking shiny. It's got a little bit kind of cakey in through the sides of my nose here, and a little bit kind of cakey on my kind of upper lip area. It's rubbed off a little bit on my nose as well. But this is what we're looking like, and this is my forehead. As you can see, it's definitely kind of like settled into these lines here. But I mean, it's not terrible. My highlight's still there, blush and bronzer you can definitely still see. I just do have this like luminosity and glow to my skin, which I mean, I'm not hating, it's not terrible, but it's definitely got that glow to it. So kind of my final thoughts and wrap up on this foundation is that, look, it's not amazing for oil control, and if you are willing to kind of blot and powder throughout the day if you have really oily skin, I do feel like it actually still looks quite good on the skin. It's not melted off, it's settled a little bit, but do keep in mind I haven't powdered. I blotted today a little bit, but I haven't powdered. I feel like if I had powdered my skin as well after I blotted my skin, my oils definitely wouldn't be coming through as much as they are now. This foundation is not marketed as being like mattifying and oil controlling. It's meant to be providing hydration to your skin, which I can definitely vouch for. My skin is looking luminous, and I imagine if you had kind of drier skin, this foundation will look beautiful on you. If you do like a little bit more of a full coverage foundation, again, this isn't full coverage, but nothing that's going to look super natural on your skin. You can definitely tell that you have foundation on when wearing this, especially after 11 hours. My skin definitely looks a little bit heavy, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. I'll definitely still use it, but maybe not for a super long day, and maybe when I've got a little bit more of a false tan on. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to leave me a big like, thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't already, so don't miss out on any of my new videos. Have a fantastic rest of the week. week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.